It is June 2005. My dad showed me something. He asked, "Do you want to see it?" "Sure," I replied. He showed me the Nintendo GameCube. He turned on and I heard the deep voice saying Nintendo, and I introduced to Luigi's Mansion. For October or Halloween, I mostly play games that are spooky. Like a little bit of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, or just watching scary movies. But the one game that struck me the most was probably Luigi's Mansion. It has been one of my favorite childhood games I ever played when I was a kid. This is the game that I touched that got me into gaming as a whole. And now, I want to look back at it and what I loved seeing when I was a child. Hi, I'm Huckleberry, and this is my first retrospective of Luigi's Mansion. The concept of Luigi getting his own game has been toyed with before, but never acted on, and no, Mario's Missing does not count. If Luigi were to star in his own game, he would have to be something unique. Luigi has always existed in Mario's shadow, the character that every sibling can identify with. Simply placing Luigi in a 2D space would be nice, but it wouldn't be an exploration with his character, and it would be passing up with opportunities of mechanics, features, and ideas. Thus, Luigi's Mansion was born. Luigi will no longer be a simple and basic Mario brother, now he has an identity of his own. That being one of a scary cat. Maybe that was the reason why he really leaves his brother's shadow. Perhaps he was too shy or nervous to do so. Being easily spooked at every moment of his accidental adventure and is hesitant to take the next step. But he's doing this to save his brother, Mario. But I love how this game is demonstrating his character trait. While you're in the dark hallways of this mansion, Luigi hums over the main theme. It's a neat touch. And when the room is clear, he hums himself the theme in the confident manner. This is made apparent through Charles Martinet's nuanced voice acting. I could pay a tribute to Mario's initial characterization of Charles Martinet. His over-the-top, contagious happiness is sold by his irreplaceable talent. In fact, he was the one that came up with the Mario sleep talking when the player leave him idle in Mario 64. Charles just seemed to like his job. I mean, why wouldn't he? Not only does it seem like a blast, but it also is one of the greatest voice acting gigs of all time. And I can also trace back Luigi's voice and personality back to him as well. When Charles was first hired to play Mario, he would put on a headset that would track his facial movements, and he would remotely communicate with people as Mario, which has since become one of the best things to happen in Nintendo World and store in New York City.
So there I am, doing Mario in real time. And I've got this hockey mask helmet that's like stuck on my head. I had it molded to my head, and then I had these trackball rollers with the contact points with surgical glue glued to above my eyebrow, below my eyebrow, side of my mouth, and underneath my mouth. So when I would move my face and talk as Mario, he would do the same thing, right? So I had a hidden microphone, so I could say, I watched somebody go by and say, "Oh, look at that, you got the little bunny, are those bunny rabbit ears? They look like the little bear ears." You go, "Whoa, are you talking to me?" "Yeah, you got the little white ears on, you're a princess," And we'd start a dialogue. So I'm going around the country doing this at Walmarts in the parking mall shop, when people are opening, and these kids always come up to the TV set, and they go, "Hey, Mario, can we please speak to your brother Luigi?" And I'd say, "Oh, sure, I get them for you." "Oh, wait a minute, you know something? I just realized, he's pretty shy, and I think he's in his kitchen making spaghetti meatballs. But I'll ask him." And I'll turn the head sideways like this, and go, "Hey, Luigi!" And then because my mouth would move in the context, I had to keep my mouth still and go, Yeah? What do you want? Want to come up and say hello to everybody? No, I'm too shy. Besides, I'm in the kitchen making spaghetti meatballs. Oh, he says he's too shy. And besides, he's in the kitchen making spaghetti meatballs. Oh, can't you ask him pretty please? Hang on, I ask him. Hey, Luigi, pretty please? Oh, no, I'm sorry, can't do it, too shy. So that's how I can...
Sometimes kids would come up to the TV and ask to speak to Luigi. Since he couldn't bring Luigi out at that time, he'd come up to excuse that Luigi was too shy to come up. While Luigi wouldn't develop past that for a long while, he finally got his chance in Luigi's Mansion, and Charles did a wonderful job making Luigi who he is to this day. And a lot of his vocal cues depend on his health. If Luigi's health is low, you'll hear a faint whimper when he opens the door instead of a slight curiosity. And when he calls for Mario at full health, he sounds calm and collected. But as his health decreases, his calls sound more panicked. And Luigi's health also correlates with the tempo of the music as he roams the halls as Luigi grows more frightened with weakness. Despite Luigi's anxious exterior, he's far more observant and in tune with his surroundings than his brother. And if you choose to examine objects around the mansion with your Game Boy Horror, you'll no doubt take notice of his commentary on the exquisite or sometimes coherent decorative taste of the interior designers. Although this hasn't since been expanded on further, it added yet another layer of depth to the secondary Mario brother. That was previously unexplored. This is something that Luigi's Mansion excels at. It doesn't just go out of its way to enrich Luigi's character alone. The mansion he explores in and of itself oozes character. Luigi's Mansion carried with it a unique vibe ever since it came out. It could be spooky or unnerving as you roam the halls, not expecting what might be around the corner. But it's immediately softened by this cartoonish charm. The ghosts have these plump, goofy designs that feel plush and huggable. Even the sound design is delightful, and they all have unique characteristics that contribute to their memorability. Like the banana ghosts, the yellow ghosts, even the red purplish ghosts. It was the first spooky game that still considered a spooky without it actually being spooky. In fact, most of what I find endearing about this game's atmosphere comes from how it can make me smile. Luigi's reactions to the ghosts he encounters, his humming and whistling braving the dark halls to brighten rooms that haven't been solved. It's all surprisingly comforting yet mysterious at the same time. And I can attribute the mysteriousness to the game's overall structure. You visit rooms all over the mansion that are each thematically rich, and I found myself wondering what I was going to see next each and every time. I wonder about the secrets that were hidden away in locked optional rooms and stuff. I'd also wonder about the rooms themselves, who live here and what they do. Well, the portrait ghosts actually answer that question. The family of ghosts that serve as bosses extend to relatives, butlers, friends, stowaways, or even a lost soul in the graveyard. On their own, they are responsible for an unparalleled level of personality. Now, every room could be home to a new member of the family, and you had to figure out how to suck up every one of them in a different way. Perhaps you need to trap Bogmire in his own shadow, freeze Miss Petunia's warm bath, or draw Spooky the dog out with a bone. They each have a special dialogue that hint at their method of defeat. When you examine their hearts, and they all have their own mannerisms that kept them distinct, and they're not generic mannerisms. The noises they make, their behavior, and the animations are all characterized effortlessly with this unexplainable Nintendo charm that way Chauncey screams and cries, and he sucks on the pacifier and shakes his rattle. The couple in the ballroom dancing together, Melody playing piano renditions of Mario music, or the butler wandering the halls, even the bulldog at the backyard. All the portrait ghosts have these little nuances and traits that give the mansion this lived-in feeling. But there's more after capturing them. You'll be able to read their biographies from the Game Boy Horror. You learn about how they died, what their hobbies were, and then some. Like Neville is catching up on all the books he missed out on life. Mr. Luggs ate himself to death and still isn't satisfied, and Slim Bagshot died before he could play a living soul in the billiards. Some of them are darker than others actually. Like Little Sue P died in her sleep, and Bachmeyer who was once the embodiment of fear and despair, and isn't sure who to fear and what to despair of anymore. And you can see that in the expression of his face. but perhaps the darkest implications come from Vincent van Gogh. His name is an obvious reference to a famous painter, a torturer and an unsuccessful artist that struggled to sell any of his artwork. He died at the age of 37 before he could see the fruits of his labor. A few of his paintings also exhibit the manifestation of extreme loneliness. Van Gogh could be interpreted as a satirical continuation of his problems, as an artist in life in an effort to finally diminish his loneliness. He paints his family to inhabit the giant mansion, and King Boo brings him to life. As Luigi, you're essentially crushing his dreams by capturing all of his ghosts. And after losing all of his artwork, he straight up gives up and allows Luigi to capture him without putting up much of a fight. Perhaps this is an insightful commentary of how the public consumes art without giving it a second thought, or I'm reading too much into it. But still, his character demonstrates that Luigi's Mansion isn't hourly focused on horror. The spookiness lies in the subtext. Nintendo is really good at creating subtext for their games, like Link's Awakening in a formality of escapism, and Ocarina of Time growing up. And now, it's a testament to Nintendo's dedication to games as a unique storytelling medium. This is how the atmosphere surrounding Luigi's Mansion goes from curious and exciting to meticulously enthralling. It changes from a simple puzzling adventure game into something worth getting lost into and enjoying a lot of Luigi's Mansion's world. Might have been the loss of the majority of players on their first playthrough. And that's a shame because it inspires creativity and intrigue in every moment. It gives the player a definitive drive to explore and solve the mansion. And note, I said first playthrough, implying that you need to play through the game multiple times. It's not that you need to, I believe that you want to. Everything about Luigi's Mansion is deliberately designed to be appreciated more than with each playthrough. Yes, some things might click on your first run, but most of the time the genius of Luigi's Mansion shines through and you realize how you can do better. But critics originally detested the game's short length, but I couldn't disagree with them more nowadays. My first playthroughs of Luigi's Mansion was like 4 hours, and if the game were any lengthier, I'm not sure I feel compelled to play it as often. But let's talk about why that is. Let's examine each of this game's aspects from 2 angles. A first-time playthrough and how things change with experience. Let's start with the act of vacuuming ghosts itself. The simple action that you perform countless times throughout the game becomes the catalyst for improvement and exploration of the game's systems. But you hold down the R button and pull away from the direction, and the ghost is traveling in to suck them up faster. As you meet portrait ghosts, you'll discover that consistently tapping and pulling the analog sticks will keep the ghost stuck in the poltergeist pull, allowing you to maintain an unbroken stream and keep draining their health. Certain ghosts behave more aggressively than others, and they'll drag you and break off if you aren't careful. This is what the game lays out for you. But perfecting the art of ghost hunting is a journey in on of itself. No one will know the ghost patterns on their first playthrough, so it's a constant game of improvement. Sucking up ghosts again and again until you can pull back on their trail effortlessly. Also, let's not forget that you had to flash them with your flashlight first. You need to be up close, and it needs to be a brief, targeted flash. Otherwise, regular ghosts will fade back to the darkness for a bit. Once I learned to use these in tandem properly, the act of sucking up ghosts became emphatically satisfying due in part of the development of my own skill, the speed in which I could absorb ghosts into my poltergeist, and the sound design. Boos, however, turn your knowledge of ghost hunting upside down. In order to capture them, you have to be in a lit room, otherwise their health won't drain nearly as fast. They won't get caught in your poltergeist pull. Instead, they'll only be slowed down so you can need to constantly be moving and pulling them backward to stop them from escaping the room. All of this creates a system that is effortlessly rewarding. And deep every ghost you catch, and how fast and consistently you're able to catch them is on you, making the act of catching them permanently exciting and gratifying, and catching multiple ghosts at once is gratification yet to be matched. A few games give me the feeling of exhilaration. I feel when I scoop up multiple ghosts in one shot, all thanks to how good I am at said scooping. But how are you rewarded for your performance physically? Well, depending on how successful you are in maintaining a steady stream in portrait ghosts, you'll net yourself some pearls. Pearls count towards your ranking and capturing the ghosts. Ideally, you want to suck up each portrait ghost in one clean shot without breaking off, just to earn all the possible pearls. Also, count toward your total gold. Now, racking up gold is the ultimate goal beyond each playthrough. Yeah, saving Mario is one thing, but there's a lot to learn about Luigi's Mansion in a single playthrough. It doesn't give you enough time to learn these things, but with that said, a dread to replace something doesn't come out of nowhere. So let's talk about how Luigi's Mansion makes a great first impression in its design. We've already discussed its unique atmosphere and novel combat system, and what they bring to the table, so let's talk about the structure of the game itself. It adheres to a Metroidvania-esque layout as you grab keys to unlock different parts of the mansion, and acquire a small number of items that help you solve problems, more rooms, and the puzzle solving that goes to capturing portrait ghosts, finding secrets, and lighting up rooms across the mansion. Might just be enough to entertain people for one go. The combat is immediately enticing. Exploration stays varied thanks to Madame Clairvoyant, sending you to a non-linear journey to find Mario's missing items. And a mansion-wide blackout that brings a lot of ghosts back, and the previously solved rooms, and each room is enriched in detail, with new interactive elements being introduced depending on the theme. Some potentially involve your own knowledge of where things are located in the mansion and how you can use the contents in another room to your advantage. Even looking at this alone, Luigi's Mansion is a game unlike any other, but if you were to just simply solve for a main objective in the game, you'd be doing yourself a disservice. It's not guaranteed to leave a lasting impression. That's why critics weren't amazed by this game, and when it came out, most reviews would see in the magazines and on the internet came from critics whose jobs don't allow them to play the game over and over again. They need to be able to get a review out fast so they can beat in other publications to the punch and move on to the next project. Luigi's Mansion has almost 23 years to grow on people, and those that have many hours into it understand it better than those initial reviews could have ever hoped to. So let's go back to the gold totals. You're being shown this information as you clear each chunk of the mansion, learning how much gold is worth and being graded on your performance, as if it was an arcade game. I went through a good portion of my childhood of replaying this game, and doing whatever I felt like until I was old enough to realize why I was being graded and why there was so much gold strewn about and why there were gems and diamonds. This game is an arcade game, and when I say it's an arcade game, I don't mean that literally. The arcade philosophy can thrive in a modern game based on progression, and Luigi's Mansion, doing better each time simply boils down to getting more gold. Everything you do can net you gold. In this game, from how well you do in boss fights, to collect boos, to solving puzzles, to checking every nook and cranny, you will be rewarded for your efforts. The maximum amount of gold possible to obtain is 142,390,000 gold. Let's break down where that gold comes from, how the game teaches you to obtain, and how it makes Luigi's Mansion more than what it seems at face value. Alongside portrait ghosts, boos offer a grand reward for collecting all 50 of them. There's one in every room, excluding bathrooms and outside areas. As soon as it lights up, it'll hold a boo. If you want to maximize the amount of gold in this game, it is highly recommended if you grab every boo, because it'll give you a gold diamond worth 14% of the game's total treasure. This is usually motivational in the context of game's final ranking, and thankfully it's fun to keep track of every boo. But if you ever lose a couple when they drift into the locked room, it's on you to memorize where they've gone. And memorization is a huge part of solving Luigi's Mansion as a whole. They acquaint you better with the layout of mansion, enabling you to seek out those optional rooms or keys that lead you down to branching paths. This also forces you to sharpen your own ingenuity in searching rooms, which can lead to some unexpected discoveries. To clarify, boos require you to examine things in rooms based on your Game Boy Horror's boo radar. Doing this both teaches the player to search for interactable objects to net themselves some treasure, which leads to heightened resourcefulness. This skill set is required to finding the two hidden rooms, which are tucked away in locations difficult for the average player to find, and they both have boos in them. Also, remember how I mentioned you can examine things with your Game Boy Horror? If you're curious enough about everything in the mansion, you might just be awarded for it. This game holds a special place in my heart, to the end of time. It's so spooky with so much love and charm to put in every little aspect about it. I feel now is actually a little great time to just talk about Luigi himself as a character. Luigi's without a doubt is a scaredy cat. This is baked into his very core, which as you see out through the whole game, hell, the entire series. He jumps from something as small as a ghost rat, and constantly is put on edge from every little thing he runs into amidst the mansion. Yet despite all that, Luigi, by all means, is no coward. He may have been constantly on edge jump every time a ghost jumps, and almost always be averse for running far away from anything, but he doesn't. But Luigi, despite his fearful nature, he stands his ground. He shows us what he'll do to whatever it takes. He wills to himself keep himself calm. He always gives a radiating smile every time he clears a room, and despite his hesitation, he still pushes through his fears and opens that door. Why, do you ask? Despite the fear of haunted mansions and dark and covered hallways, he's unbreakable to save his brother circumvented all of it. A coward is a person who lacks the courage to do or endure dangerous or unpleasant things. Luigi could have bolted, fled far away from the mansion before even stepping in. But he doesn't, and that's what makes Luigi such a perfect protagonist, a quality of which the sequels actually understood. I mean, Luigi literally adopts a ghost dog, and gets constantly scared by it. But still, he loves it and takes care of it despite his fear, an equivalent being an arachnophobe taking care of a tarantula. Through thick and thin, this game will always be one of my favorite games of all time. And though I do love the current games in the series with their more cartoonish vibe and variety of designs, I don't think they'll ever top that perfect creepy and unsettling feeling that this game invoked for me. But you know, but I'm still happy with where the series ended up nonetheless, and though I still love for a return to form, I'm still happy and eagerly awaiting to see where the Scream Plumber and his ghost dog brings me next. It was an A-ring. Damn it. It's okay. I got hit so many times. It's fine. It's not an A-ring. It's a B-ring. And I'm Huckleberry, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Oh, fun fact. Did you know that Luigi's Mansion was inspired by Resident Evil?
No. You tripping. You lying. Hold on. Luigi's Mansion was likely inspired by the first Resident Evil. Wait a minute. Wait. No. It technically looks like the Spencer Mansion, but you're definitely not convincing me that. Wait. Whoa. Hold on. Wait the fucking minute. I know I'm not tripping. Okay. Let's look at the mansion again. Because there is, I swear to God, if it looks exactly like the Spencer Mansion, like I first thought it would be. Hold on. Oh my fuck. Okay. You got me. 10 out of fucking 10, bro. 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10, bro.